All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue with showing you guys more stuff here. So this is page 9 from the package. This problem is basically similar to the one that I did on page 5. However, I'm gonna concentrate on a little bit on showing you guys how to do angles. So this one has a little bit angles here too. So again, just like how you do all the drawing, the first thing you do is look through the drawings and determine how and where to start. So first, we can see that we have circles. So we got dimension in radius and diameter both. So you need to know how to do the math there, hopefully. Um, and then we got our basically just circles. And then if we zoom in to this one here, this little section here has a little edge here that is a straight path. And then we have an arc of radius of 2 and another radius of 2. And basically, this is where you're using the tangent circle. If you don't recall that, look into the video on uh, the problem on page 5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start drawing. The very first circle there would be the one that has the diameter of 42. Then I'll do the 48. Then I'll do the one that is on the outside here, which let's look for the dimension, which is the 54. Then I'll do the circle that is at 60. All right. And also don't forget that there is a circle that is 30, but we're not going to do that until we complete everything else on the outside first in this case. Okay. That's just me drawing. All right. So here, circle, I'm just going to go start. Again, let's do 42 in diameter. So let's make sure that you go down here and click on diameter and do 42, or if you do the math in your head, you can see that the radius is 21. So you can do just 21 radius. Right? And then you can always confirm what you're drawing by going to, you know, the measurements here. You can do a quick measure to see that your measurements are correct. So um, again, you can see that it show up 21, boom, right? Or another way for people to test stuff is go to dimensions and you can just there select that. Again, if your number is too small, um, you have to change that by modifying it. All right, so the symbol there is 42. Remember, I put in the radius and now it show up the diameter is 42. You can change that by click on radius. Now you can see it's R21. All right, and you can change back to diameter and you can see that now is 42. Now notice one thing here is 42.0000. So that's one thing we're going to want to work with right now because we can see that all our dimensions are whole numbers. So you can go into, again, dimension, and we're going to, under note, annotate, we click on this and change the dimension style. Within the dimension style, we can see that we can change the unit. So modify and go in here and we can do primary unit. We can change this right here to 0. That means it's going to be a whole number. All right, close that. So now our number are going to be just whole number. All right, next, what we're doing is the circle. All right, put your mouse on the circle. The center is going to show up. Boom. We're going to do the one next to it is 42. So that is 24. Again, the next one we'll do is 54. So have a 54. Now where the math, like some of you were like, okay, why are we doing that? Why just put in the number, right? So make sure that you guys are um, in where are you doing it. If you click on circle, make sure that you guys are looking into the measurement. So if you put in here, why am I in this kind of circle? Let me see. Yeah, center radius. You can change it to diameter for your case. So if you do that for this problem, then you can draw and put in 54 this time now. And the next one would be 60. So I'm going to go in there and do that again, 60. All right, escape. Here's all our circle. Notice how big they are compared to the actual picture that we got. So I'm going to go click on my picture. I'm going to click on this corner. I'm going to make it bigger. So that way I can see it in a second. You will see what makes sense. All right. escape, click on this. I can move that corner to down here. This is my origin of the plane down there. Escape, click on this image. I can move this one somewhere to the left of this. Give me a second. My computer is a bit lagging here. All right, so I have that, so it's easy for me to see things here. Maybe move it closer. Okay. Double click the roller. You can zoom into the whole image here. Let's take a look at the next one. The next one we have would be what we're gonna do next. All right. So you see all this red informations. Well, there's one thing I need to double check is the 60 is here, and then the 54, where's the 54? So it seems like I need to double check my dimensions real quick, and that's something that you guys can do. All right. So again, quick measure. That's 21. That's 24. That's 27, which is 54, and then that's 60. So seem like it's doing stuff between the radius and diameter, so it's changed things up. So this right here, we can see that we are in the radius of 21, diameter is 42. That's good. And then we're going to zoom into this one, double click on it. Radius 24, diameter is 48. All right, so that's good. Double check this one. Radius is okay, that's because I select both of them, except varies. So now this one is 27, diameter is 54. All right, so that's good. But this one is the one that need our attention. It said radius is 60. Well, the radius needs to be half of 60 for the problem. So we need to fix that one. So go in here. Um, we need to go ahead and scale this back down, or let's go ahead and redo this whole thing if we want to. Or you can click on the corner there. When you see those rectangle that is blue showing up, you can change that back to 30. All right, that's how you change the dimension. Okay. All right, so look like I need to make sure there's a lot of like doing this here in the beginning, and that is because I want my pictures to be similar to what I'm coming out with the drawing, so it's easy for me to know what I'm drawing. All right, so I know that for the one that is 48 in diameter, I need to make that into, this one is a 148, I hope. So we can double click on it to make sure. Yep, that is. All right, we can get out of there. That's the second circle. So this one, we're gonna go ahead and make it red. So I'm gonna go up here, properties. I'm gonna click on, say, where it said by layer. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that and make it red. That's one thing. Second thing, I need to turn this into a construction line. So again, if you don't recall, go down to properties and you can see where it said by layer there. Drop down and hit other. This is where you're going to go ahead and load some of your lines in. So we're going to load a few of them. So give it a second. My window just opened up on another screen, sorry. So let me drag it over. It's going to show up this way, and then you're looking for the line that you are using. For our case, I'm just going to try to find something similar to it. Let's use dash. You're going to use this dash dot x2. Click OK. It's there. Click OK. Now we're going to go back to our drawing. Click on that red line. I'm going to zoom in so you can see here. Click on that. Go to my property and change that to the line that we just used. Boom. Right? And that is how you change that. So now if I escape, you can see the line is now a dotted line, a construction line. All right, so that is 48. What's the next thing we're gonna do is we also need to go in and do some angle to this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do that 30-degree angle, okay? So that means we're gonna have to have some construction line to work with. So I'm gonna go right there. My snap turned on, so I'm just gonna draw all the way down. All right, hit escape. So this will be my construction line. I'm gonna also gonna go ahead and turn that into red. By layer, make it red, and also I'm gonna turn that into that construction line. Done. Okay. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate this to an angle, or I can create it. So let's start with that first. Let's create a construction line. Um, that is so right here. You can see this whole angle is 90 degree. If I go to the if I move my mouse to the right, you can see that number is getting smaller. So now I'm at 45. I'm at 62. I want the angle that is not being number right now to be 30. So the whole angle is 90, right? So 90 minus 30 is the one that I wanted, is 60. So I need to go ahead and hit the tab key here to go to the angle. I want this angle to be 60, right? So think about that for a second, why I want it to be 60. Because I want 30 for the one that's on top. So 30 away from 90 is 60. Okay. So that is the angle that I wanted. Okay. Now you can do that the same thing, or you can mirror this line over to the center line here, and you will have the other 30. Or you can just do what you want to do here. That is, again, that's 90. What is 90? And then I want 30 more. So what is 90 plus 30? Right? So think about that. Hit the tab key. 90 plus 30, 120. Right? So I have that angle there. That is 30 by 30. So again, both of these need to be a construction line. So go in there, layer, turn it to red, turn that into this. All right. So there we are with that. So that is the basics angles measurements, and you can go ahead and change that. Look for the measurements, and I know that we have to change the text size here real quick to make it bigger. So right now, our text size 0.18. We want it to be like, say, everything was like 30s, and make it 7. Again, we don't know until we put it in to see how big they are. And then if it's too big, we can change it. So the angle that we're looking for is between this line and that line segment. So that's angle is 30. Maybe 7 is too big, but that's okay. I'm just using it to show you guys stuff now. So that's, again, that angles there that we have is 30 by 30, right? That's from the drawing there. Boom. So that's what you're going to do with angles. And what are we doing next? Is we already have the 60, we already have the 54. What are they going to do there? They have this red part, and they drawing this arc right here. That arc is the one on the outside is diameter of 12. The one on the inside is diameter of 6. All right, so we need to find that location. So if we zoom in, you can see this right here, the dotted line that my mouse is on right now, or I can just draw something like, let me say, I can make this, I was about to do green on green. So let's make a color that show up. I'm gonna use this color here. So what we're looking for is, you can see, if I draw this line from here out that way, right? Oops, Control Z. Right there to there. That's the one I just draw, right? What we're looking for is that intersection where my mouse is right there. We need to look for that intersection. So that is the dotted line, which means the 48. So we're looking for the intersection of the 48 and that angle of 30 degree. We're looking for that location. Okay. So we are now looking for that location, and we need to draw an arc that is 6 and then 12 in diameter, right? So instead of do arc, we can just do circle. But if you want to do arc, then you can go in here, all right, and we can do a 3-point arc. All right, or you can do a start, end, and center. Um, Multiple way, but circle would be the easiest one to do. So I'm going to do center and diameter. So I'm going to go in here, zoom into that location. I have my snap turned on, so it's the intersection is just showing up right there. Now, if your snap is not turned on, to make sure that you're looking for your snap, your intersection right here, make sure that is turned on, right? Then you can see that point. But if you don't, that's I think that's fine. Again, circle this, boom. I need that to be what? I think the inside is 6 in diameter, and the outside is 12. Right. And both of these supposed to be what was it? Let me go back to my drawing. Diameter of 12. So the 12 the intersection have to be on the 60. I think this one is wrong. So it need to be on the, so that this one is correct, the first one, and the second one somehow I think I hit it wrong somewhere. All right, so I'm gonna go in here. I got the center. Gonna go out. My diameter need to be, right now it's set the diameter is 24. I don't want that. I want the diameter to be 12. So I need that to be 12. Let me see if that solves the problems. Yes, it is solving that problems, right? You can see how smaller that is compared to before. All right, it escaped, and of course this line, which is a reference line earlier, get rid of that, and then you can go in here and you can trim stuff. Again, I got my stuff on purple, but it should be white. Now this is not layers. This is just me working on colors, right? So this have nothing to do with layers. Now layers are here where you add layers. You're gonna see that in the other project when you do the floor plan with, uh, which are already in the on Schoology. So if you want to click on that and work on that, that's on you later. All right, let's go ahead and see where we need to trim. So for that arc, I need to trim the other half. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim that one. And then for the bigger sections, you can see that it's come here and then we have an arc. So we're not gonna trim that thing. We're just gonna trim the one on the left here. We lift everything on the right and we're gonna work on that more. So I trimmed that section. All right. So before you even use this thing to mirror to the left, we're just gonna finish the drawing first before you mirror that, I would think. All right. So next, what we need to concentrate on is we can see that this come down, down, down. So this one is also gonna be trim. This one going to also be trim. And we don't care about the red dotted line because that constructions, right? Then next things will be that little section right here where my mouse is right now. All right, the section is right here. Again, we got the radius of 2 and another radius of 2, and then the 30. That's when we can use the 30. So now let's go ahead and put in that circle with the diameter of 30. All right, again, I got in purple because I have not changed it. And I guess I'll leave it in purple so we can work on it and we can change color and trim stuff later. All right, so that 30 there, from there to there is 30. So that's, I don't think that, I believe I said it's a straight path right there. That's a segment, but it's not a segment. It's actually a curve. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom into this, and the radius is 2. So we're going to zoom into this and we're going to do what we call, remember, tangent radius? That's the circle that we're going to do. So the first circle we're going to select is tangent radius. So I need to move my mouse here so you can see the dimensions showing up. So I'm going to hit escape again, tangent radius. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to put in the measurement, which is tangent. That's one way of doing it, and click on that. And then the next one, also tangent. Click on that, and the radius is 2. Hit enter. That show up, right? Now, if you don't know what I just did there, recall the video on page 5, the other video, or you can just watch and again on what I just did there. So I can do that again, actually, Control Z. All right, I'm gonna go to here. I select tangent radius. Okay, that's one way of doing it. And then I'm gonna put my mouse on here. I'm gonna put in the word tangent. Then I move my mouse to the second circle. I'm gonna put in the word tangent again. If you type it correctly. And then here's the dialog where you're going to put in the measurement of whatever that measurement is, which is 2 in this case. And then hit enter. Oh, well, let's do that again. That. Select this. Put in the measurement of tangent. Enter. And then we're going to select on the second edge. Again, put in the tangent or the dimensions, which is 2. All right, give me a second, guys, and I'll pause the video. All right, let's get back to that. I'm sorry, someone just walked in. What we're going to do is, again, tangent circle, that first. And we're going to go ahead and do tangent when the first one is show up. And then we'll click on this first arc here. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the second one. And just before you do that, hit tangent again. And then select on the second one. And then apparently it's too much. The dimension was 15. We need to change that dimension again to 17 point something 2, and somehow it went out there. All right, let's do that again. It's what happened when you don't hit escape on your keyboard. So do escape multiple times, or I can change that real quick by again do this again. So I can do TTR tangent radius. I can just hit the first one, hit that second one, and then change it to 2. That's the fastest way. All right. So that's how you do that one. You can pause the video and see it again on what I just did there. All right. So next thing, we're gonna go and trim the stuff that we don't need. If I recall, we can trim that one, and then what we need is also take a look at the one on the right. So for this one on the right, what do we do? I know that we have the center right there, and then another center on this side. How do we get this one to the right without moving so much work? Give me 2 seconds. Is there another dimension that we can look at to do this? Because this lines, if we continue that, what the dimension from here to here, that's the one that's missing. Which mean we have to do other things. All right, I apologize. I thought it's going to be quick for me here, but apparently I need to do some math in my head. All right, let's get back to that. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and also trim this one right here. All right, and I'm going to hit escape. And this section here is what you're going to change to white. All right, so make sure that's what you do. And you can see that we have that little thing there. All right. Just want to make sure that we zoom in to see what we need to trim to make sure that everything is gone. All right, when we're done with that, what we're going to do is we also going to have to create the other radius of 2. Now, to do that radius of 2, we need to have a circle over here first. The only problem is we do not know how far from this edge to create. But what do I do is this. Right now at this point, I'm just gonna go and mirror all these things. I'm gonna mirror those over this. Let me see to that. All right, I do not want to erase my source. All right, so that's what I have there. I'm going to use that information, everything that I have there now. I'm going to take that and I'm going to rotate. I'm going to rotate those informations. So how many of those do I have? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got 4 of those. So what I'm going to do now is before I rotate, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to trim. I think I'm going to trim everything's here and everything's here, and including this here and here, and zoom in and here, zoom out and here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of that. Just want to make sure that I see some whites right here. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that that is also being taken care of. I don't know. We'll figure that out later, I guess. All right. So I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to take that. Now I don't have to rotate this, right? So let me see. I'm going to do, that's rookie mistake right there. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go ahead and rotate. Not rotate, but I'm going to do circular pattern. So polar array. All right, and I need to select the center of that rotation, which is this one. And how many of that am I going to do? Let me see. I'm going to go to do just 4 and hit enter. And voila, you can see when I got that, that's what it looked like. So the one that I'm missing, the one that I delete, the 30, the one that is was drawn in purple, that's one is something that I need to put back. So I'm going to put that one back. But also I'm going to go ahead and change that back to white instead of keeping that as purple. So that way I can see I have 30, right? And then I can go now, I can trim the section that is not part of that. All right, and then let me see what else I need to trim. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that is my drawing. And I believe that is it, but I think there's a couple more things that we need to trim. So let's zoom in there, trim this right here. So let me see, and I hope that is a problem so I can show you one more skill. Okay, so we cannot trim that section. So what I'm going to do is going to highlight this whole thing, and then I'm going to tap the word E. That is for explode. I'm going to click on that. So now everything is exploded. Then we can go back and then we can trim. I need to trim, not select. So I can trim now. So when you see stuff that you cannot trim, highlight the whole thing, explode it. When you explode things, they are now in separate parts. So I'm glad that that one is happening to the drawing. That way I can show the skills. All right, so now all of that is done. You can see that, and then your job is to go ahead and take out your dimension to